another 31 Days of Horror 2020 video. Time for the final Blumhouse Amazon original film. This time we are talking about Black Box. At an hour and 40 minutes from 2020. The film is about a man that after losing his wife and his memory in a car accident undergoes
James,
an agonizing experiment. Treatment that brings him to question his, who he really is. Essentially, he's having memory problems.
Baby, sit down.
And he can't really remember his past. So he goes in for some experimental treatment, hopefully to bring back those past memories and, make him a complete person, because he's now a single father of a young daughter who he has to take care of, but he's constantly not remembering, to pick her up from school and stuff like that, because he's having these memory problems. And so because there goes the pumpkin. So because he's under threat of essentially losing his daughter to child services, he's kind of stuck. So he goes to do I guess was it his brother? Brother was a doctor, so this was a.
I don't know if it was his friend or.
I don't know. I can't remember. Somebody relationship unknown works at the hospital, and there's a doctor there who's doing some very interesting and experimental things with memory. So he goes to see her, and she decides, yeah, I think I can help you. And thus the sci-fi horror Black Box starts to get weird. This is very much felt like it was like a Twilight Zone-y type thing, but we'll say Outer Limits, because Outer Limits is more sci-fi than Twilight Zone. So we'll say, along those lines. The father in question is Nolan, played by Mahmoud Ati. Now, Mahmoud Ati also played in films like The Circle, Underwater. If you've seen The Get Down, that Netflix show, he plays Grandmaster Flash. I don't know. He's also plays Jerome in Oh, Jerome, No. Now, his daughter, Ava, is played by Amanda Christine. Now, don't expect her to be in a lot because she's very young. And yet, she plays the young girl in Colony, the little girl in 911, and apparently the named character, Lavinia, in How to Get Away with Murder. Who would have thought? But the draw for this particular movie is...
Nobody's going to know who she is.
Nobody's going to know who this is. Dr. Lillian, played by Felicia Rashad. No? No?
James is like, I know who that is. I see her all the time.
Yeah. All right, Leslie. Who is she?
Claire Huxtable.
Claire Huxtable. Yes, she's been in other things.
Yes, she didn't just do that and nothing.
From The Cosby Show, the one and only married to Mr. Huxtable, Bill Cosby. Yes. So, yeah. That's essentially the movie. Without giving it away, because if I said anything else about it, it would be like, spoiler. Like, big time. But, yeah. Your thoughts. You're not big into sci-fi stuff,
no.
So I wasn't thinking you'd particularly enjoy this.
I didn't... It was all right for a tiny bit, because I felt bad for the guy, right? And I thought, oh gosh, how's he living? How's this gonna play out? And I wanted him to get his memories back. So I was okay with that premise and whatever. Okay, I can work with that. But it was too much sci-fi for me. And I thought, why is this even in the horror thing? Like, really? No. And I didn't like it.
What did you think of the, we'll say the twist ending, the reveal at the end?
I didn't like that at all.
No?
And I was quite happy at first when I saw Claire Huxtable. Because I was like, oh, it's her. And then this movie made me not like her. And I don't want to not like her. So.
I will say she doesn't play a convincing doctor.
No.
She doesn't. She isn't. She has a lot of scientific stuff that she has to say, even if it's very much jibber jabber. Like it's just using scientific words that really don't work with what's going on. But she didn't feel her delivery of, saying anything that was about the science of what was going on, her delivery just didn't seem natural. Not like somebody who's been doing this her entire life, essentially. It came across like somebody, like, I have to remember the words properly,
Yeah. She didn't seem comfortable with that character really at all. Like,
no. Yeah, I don't know. I didn't, which is too, because as Claire Huxtable, she's fantastic. Mm-hmm. It's so natural watching her. Like, it just comes across perfectly. And in other roles I've seen her in, same type of thing. But for some, I don't know. Maybe she just wasn't. If
she didn't like that character and maybe didn't really want to do it, but maybe it was a favor to somebody, or maybe she needed some more money, or like, who knows? You know what I mean? Like, maybe she just really didn't like it and did it anyway.
I don't know, but she has been acting a lot more lately. Like, there was a stint where she wasn't doing a lot, I'm pretty sure. I mean, I could be wrong, but I mean, she obviously made a lot of money on the Cosby Show. We'll just say everybody on the Cosby Show probably made a lot of money.
Well, except for the guy who worked at Trader Joe's.
The guy who worked at Trader Joe's?
Sandra's husband. Remember that story? That he was working at Trader Joe's, so maybe he didn't get enough.
No, I think these people, if they did anything, it's because they blew their money. Like, you don't, like, he came into it later on, so he couldn't have come in there and they would have been like, we're not going to pay you. And he's like, so, like, I have a main character role on this multi-billion gazillion dollar show. No, I guess she was continuing. Oh wow, okay. I guess she was just in a lot of stuff I never watched. That's interesting. So yeah, she, of course, all of the spin-offs she had stuff in, whether it was cartoons or something, she had work in those as well. Even one episode of the Cosby Mysteries. But yeah, I'm surprised she kept going right through the 2000s. I guess there is a period here where she kind of. Okay, so she was doing, when Little Bill was on television, she was working a bit in that. But it seems the early 2000s, though she did do work, it wasn't consistent. And then in 2010, she started up again, doing multiple projects a year, whether it be different things. And then lately she's been doing all sorts of stuff. oddly enough, you know, the Creed movies, big ones. Yeah, I'm surprised. Wow. Some Netflix and Amazon originals after that. So she has been tapping into the streaming for sure. But yeah, I found everybody's performance outside of hers was good. But hers was, it just, I don't know, it didn't work for me, which was weird. But I liked the premise behind the film. I liked what was going on there, but it very much was, I found this with all the Blumhouse ones, were very much like Twilight Zone type stories rather than, you know, like drawn out. They were like a, you know, like a half an hour to an hour long Twilight Zone that got stretched out to an hour and a half. Yeah. So they were missing kind of like the meat. Right? They were, could have been condensed into a shorter period of time and it would have been fine. Probably would have been more entertaining. But because they had to stretch it out, things weren't quite as good. And this is probably my favorite of the 4 Blumhouse films, I think. Yeah, I think so. He's trying to hide the phone in my arm.
And it's going to end up on the couch, so no.
But yeah, if you had to give it a rating, what would you give the rating on this one?
2.
What? Really?
Yeah.
Wow. I give it a 3. It's solid, but like I said, needed a little bit more to it, a little bit more sustenance, and really the Claire Huxtable does not deliver. But that being said, that wraps up our Blumhouse series.
I was glad.
Yeah. They were kind. Just as a side note, those Amazon original Blumhouse films kind of a letdown overall. Put it this way, I don't think I'd see them in theaters. Just saying. Direct to video at best. Or direct to streaming. Oh, buddy. Hide it? There we go. Yeah, just hide it in my arm. Yeah, there you go. You're doing good. Alright. Anyways. You okay? You done? You hiding? Alright. Oh, what's going on? You can't go. Oh, Mommy's got it on her thumb.
Well, I'm not risking it getting lost.
Yeah, where were we? Sorry, I got sidetracked there. I had a phone getting lost in my arm. Yeah, so Leslie's not a fan. No recommend. This one I actually would give a slight recommend to, but think of it more like a television show than, like an episode of a television show than an actual feature film, and it'd probably be better off. But that being said, yeah, thankfully the Blumhouses are done. Let's move on to something better. Maybe. It could be worse. That's the way these 31 Days of Horror go. You never know, right? So, anyways, let us know. Did you watch Black Box? What did you think of it? Keep it spoiler-free as much as possible. Thanks for watching. Till next video, take care. Say
bye.
Bye.